Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, last time when we played our campaign, Shadows in the Light, our group, the Order of the New Dawn, spent a markum of time in the city of Oakhaven. Whether it was finding out storage possibilities for the two collected void shards, um, and a good amount of time shopping in the town, stocking up, and preparing for our trip up into the frozen north. Um, 1 second. All right. The group then embarked on the off to travel north into the frozen lands of the elves and dwarves. Uh, Roughly a week has passed since their last in Oakhaven. Just
Oh, well, that's lovely.
heading up on the path through the forest and into the mountain pass. Near the final legs of their journey through the mountains, this treacherous snow-covered pass, they came across a giant who um, sought to kill and eat our group of adventurers. Um, the giant and his orc and other giant friends proved to be hard-hitting opponents, but not able to best our party. Um, After a tough battle, which saw both Ophelia and Hanthor fall unconscious a couple times, um, our group is setting out once more about mid-afternoon through the mountains. Um, they should, if we where we left off, we are about at a fast pace. If you don't stop to rest, you can get there tonight. If you stop to rest and heal up, um, you'll be you can make it to Thalmos early in the morning, uh, where we left off, early the next morning. To set the scene for Hanthor, who wasn't here last time, near the end last time, we are in like a ravine, a pass, and there's giant and orc bodies litter around us. Ophelia is still kind of laying back flat in the snow. You have just gotten to your feet. You took a Hanthor took a pretty heavy pounding from the giant, um, hitting him extremely hard before the last blow was dealt to him. The snow has just gently begun falling again. You can hear the wind whistling over the top of the canyon. In the distance, you can see like a clearing. It looks like there's like a cutoff in the distance, probably a good 200 paces in the distance. All right, and that's where we're starting today.
If I remember correctly, we had decided to take a short rest.
Okay, yeah, to use healing surges and stuff.
Yep.
As the party is settling down to rest, can I make my way kind of towards where we came from and kind of take a good look just to make sure there's no more enemies that might have heard the ruckus?
So you're heading back the way we came from?
No, just the edge of the ravine where I'm standing, just to take a good look and see if there's more enemies.
Okay, go ahead and go ahead and do a perception check.
I see shit.
Yeah, no, you don't see anything. It's the snow's starting to come down, the wind is blowing. You're kind of coming down from the adrenaline high of battle. You see Valanthe turn into an eagle and fly up amongst like the top of the ravine and just kind of circle around. All right. She doesn't. In her eagle form, she doesn't really seem to indicate that there is any threat. And she just kind of swoops down and perches on top of one of the giant bodies, but she does not. She's still in form.
Okay. Well, then I will walk over to Ophelia and extend my hand. You okay?
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep looking up at the sky.
Okay.
I would like to insight that, see if it's off. See if she's really okay.
Are you trying to deceive her, or?
I am just not in a sharing mood.
All right. All right. You can tell that she seems upset, but she doesn't really seem like she wants to talk about it. But she seems visibly upset. Isaac, when you get in, we are taking a short rest. You can use some hit dice if you would like.
Okay. Can you send me a text description of the previously on? Do you have it written down?
A text description of what?
The previously on? The one that you usually read off of?
I don't think he has this one written down.
Oh, damn.
Do you?
Short story. I didn't have one written down this time. Short story. We shopped a lot and we fought giants, and it's been a week since we were in Oakhaven. Those are the smart notes.
Okay.
Right now, Valanthe just did a circle in the canyon top, make sure that we aren't surrounded. Yyrin tried to look and find anything, and we're just taking a quick rest in the snow just to heal up, just to kind of take a breather. It has begun to snow again, and in the distance, off on the right side of the map, there seems to be a cutoff, like a clearing, like a parting of the mountain ridge.
I'm going to sit. I'm just going to sit down right next to Ophelia. Just kind of taking a breather.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else want anything they want to do right now? Otherwise, we'll just kind of continue.
I'm good.
You doing okay, Hanthor?
I am doing alright. Ugh. I've had worse.
Yeah. I get the feeling you're going to be a little sore in the morning.
All right. So, the snow starts to steadily fall once more. Um, you walk for a little while, probably about 5 or so minutes, and let's see if I have the picture up. All right, just really quick. Sorry, I thought I had set up. You come to an edge. It's a large cliff, and looking down in the horizon, you see a large, just snow-covered forest. It's similar to that. Just a large expanse of trees. There's the mountain range kind of arcs around in a semicircle, and down in this valley is this forest. In the center of this forest, you see like a clearing, and there's like a large city. You can see it, pillaring. It's glistening in the sunlight, and like the late sunlight. And off to your left, you see a pathway that just kind of zigzags down the mountainside and goes down into the forest itself. It doesn't seem too treacherous, but as you look out off to the east of the city, not far from it, you see some smoke rising up out of the forest, and you see patches of black and smoke rising in parts that looks like they've been like kind of clear cut. And these red orange dots and smoke that kind of dot the eastern forest countryside here that go up almost off to the eastern side of the mountain ridge.
I take it that's not normal.
Does it seem like fights, or does it seem like campfires, or can we tell?
It seems
How much
it
smoke are we
seems
talking?
like there's a lot.
Is it?
It
thick?
seems
Is
not
it like
not yeah, it's like thick black, like burning. It's fresh.
So this
Not
is a
quite
new
forest
fire.
fire. Yeah, it's not quite forest fire, but like there's like fire, and it's like dot, and you can see orange lights, fire, kind of dotting the ridge as it goes, like climbs up the forest and kind of upside the mountain, like disappears into the hills. Roll a perception check if you would like. You can roll a perception check. All right. You aren't really able to. Nobody's able to really pinpoint anything out. You just see the smoke and kind of like the clusters of black and red. It seems to be. There seems to be like almost like a line in the forest where like the smoke just like stops. And it's almost as if something is keeping like the smoke and the fire at bay.
I don't like that.
Do you think
I'm
we
gonna
should go check it
uh,
out?
start heading down a little.
Well, nothing bad can come from this.
All right. As you kind of start to collect yourself and you begin making your way towards the path, who has a passive perception of 16 or higher?
Yes.
You do?
I have the same
Flyr?
as Flyr.
Oh, did we get stats for my familiar?
You know, Chris, I completely forgot. I'm sorry.
It's alright, I forgot until right now, too.
Just because he doesn't care about you.
For right now, just we'll just treat it special. Anyway, so Flyr, Yyrin, Valanthe, and Ophelia, as you begin walking towards the cliff path, the narrow cliff face that leads, the cliff face path that leads down, you hear a thum, 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 like just kind of like what the giant was stomping, but this is faster pace, like it sounds like there's multiple like hands and feet walking through it, and as it gets closer, you start to see some of the cliff tops. The snow on the cliff top starts to shake, and some rocks fall loose. At this time, the rest of you, Dean and Hanthor, you start to see it too. Rocks are shaking, and you look up instinctively because that's where the sound is coming from. And you see 4 large hulking forms in the, like, kind of distorted by the sunlight as you look up. They don't seem to be giants. They seem kind of decidedly smaller, and they're kind of hunched over, kind of ape-like.
Is there any, like, can I, like, back up out of line, like, against the wall and hide a little bit out of their sight line?
If you want to make a hide check, go ahead and roll a stealth.
Do I know what they are?
I'm just gonna ask what to roll to know what they are and their weaknesses and stuff.
Alright, roll a perception, because how they're at, the sun is like right in the sun a little bit, so they're a little obscured. Okay, yeah. You're able to see them. They're tall, probably about Yyrin. Where you're at, you're not able to get a good look at them because where you'd hide would be like right under them. So I'm going to say you're not able to perform the perception check.
Okay.
But the rest of you who looked, you see them. They stand about 7 to 8 feet tall. They have white, heavy fur and large horns coming out of their heads. Not like demonic horns, but more like goat horns, but like just like really big. They kind of curl up over the back of their heads. They have black with like blackish blue faces, and just kind of a gorilla-like face. You're as they just kind of sit on the edge and just watch you.
Nobody move.
And those of you who saw it, you can make a Hanthor, you can make a history check if you want. The rest of you can make who saw it, Ophelia and Dean, you can make intelligence checks to try and see if you've heard it. All right. Ophelia, you think you've heard some of this before. You vaguely remember, very vaguely remember your mom mentioning Yetis in the crossing, but from the elf lands from when you entered the human lands as a child. They can be dangerous, very territorial.
And you said I can't see them where I'm at.
I mean, you know where they are, but you can't see them. Like where you would have had to like curl up. You couldn't like get like a good chance to like perception check them to like really find out the details of what they look like. You saw some big hulking figures like, oh shit, and you slunk against the wall.
And how many are there?
I believe I said 4. Yeah, 4.
We shouldn't be here right now. We need to get out of here.
What's going on?
This doesn't seem very good.
Are we on a path still?
You're kind of on like the the ledge, the overlook. You guys were getting ready to head towards the path, and like right when you were about like 5 feet from the path entrance, you heard that, and you kind of paused, and then they showed up.
So are they like in the way of us getting to the path?
No, you can go on the path, but they're just above on like the cliff tops above, watching you.
I think we had better stick to the path.
I like this idea.
That sounds wise.
Nobody draw any weapons. We must go through as safely as possible.
I'd recommend going slow and carefully too. Any sudden movements might trigger something. And I'm just gonna slowly edge out as I say that.
Okay. So you guys start off down the path.
Yes.
All right. So you start walking slowly down the path. You probably make it a good 30 feet. When you hear and you look behind you, you hear rocks falling and skating as one impacts the side and like slides down the mountainside and impacts the snowy rock center down behind you. On the like where the ledge face was, that's now behind you, and it's just up at the entrance of like the top entrance of the path where it just came from. It just stops there and watches you. It's not coming towards you, but it's got its teeth bared, and it's just standing there watching you. I hear more rumbling as another one skates down the side and grabs and launches itself and like perches itself on a ledge and overlooks you. It's probably good 10 feet up. You can like feel like hear its deep like growling breathing as it watches you. Again, it's not like interceding into your like engaged zone, but it is very close on a ledge watching. And the other two are kind of crawling along the top ledges, watching you as you continue on down the path.
I'm just gonna keep watching them and keep walking
Was-
on the path.
Did you say the one behind us is the closest one? The one that
No, the one that landed behind you is probably about a good 25, 30 feet behind you. The closest one would technically be one that perched up on a ledge about 10 feet above your heads, and it's just holding on, like looking over at you, and it's breathing heavily, trying to look intimidating.
So as we're continuing on, I want to kind of put both my hands up in like a surrendering fashion, while looking at the one that's kind of perched above us. Everyone, put your hands up.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check.
Dean, just keep moving.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not stopping moving. I don't know if I said that, but I'm gonna continue. I'm continuing to walk at this point.
All right.
I'm gonna nudge Leica along a little bit more. It's okay. Just keep going. Trying to calm her down if she's getting riled up.
All right. So this continues on for a little while, probably a good 20 minutes as you're walking along the path, where the Yeti will, one Yeti will skate
Question.
down and, yeah.
Did anyone else put their hands up, or am I the only one doing it?
I think you're the only one doing it.
Yeah, you're the only one doing it.
All right.
Well,
So
I would like
this.
to be at the front, so.
Okay, that's fine. So type out in chat what your walking order is, so I can continue describing this. This continues on for about 20 minutes or so as you walk on this mountainside path. Some of you have your hands raised, and the Yeti are some sliding down the side, perching on rocks or bent or side-hanging trees, and they're just watching you. Some are advancing from behind, and they're all just kind of watching you, trying see if you make any sudden movements, type of thing.
Can I occasionally do a gentle, like, shushing sound whenever they start to get riled up, kind of like an easy?
Yeah, that's fine. So you shh, kind of just remind the party to shush as you continue. This goes on for a little bit. You've got as you reach another landing. At this point, it's like a large outcrop, and you can kind of see, the forest. You're obviously closer. From the looks of it, about another like 20 or so minutes. Probably another, actually not 20 or so minutes. Another 2 hours or so of like going down this down the cliffs and making your way out. Will get you onto like the forest floor.
How dark is it getting?
And it's about 2 p.m. It's not completely late, but it's past the apex.
Are any of them following? Or are they keeping a distance?
They're following you like this whole time. They're coming along the path. They're moving up. They're keeping their distance, like just out of range of like melee attacks and whatnot. But they're just watching you and continuing on.
Do I know I did the previous intelligence check before, but since they've been like close and around us, do we know what these things are, like for sure?
Did you share that information, Ophelia?
They're Yetis. They're dangerous and territorial.
Yeti. Kind of like a bee, like a bear almost.
Snow bear, but bigger. And much more territorial.
Yeah, get
Which means
that.
we need to keep moving.
That's why I suggest we stick to the path. That would be the least likely to be considered their territory.
I want to keep a close eye on them. Not like... I just want to make sure that they're at a distance and they're not making any sudden movements to go faster.
She does not want to be surprised.
Everybody
Be
stay
careful not
calm.
to stare, Yyrin.
Keep moving.
Be careful
Alright.
not to stare, Yyrin. They might not like that.
All right. So you come to this large clearing, and you can see out into the distance. And another outcrop. As you do, Ophelia and Valanthe hear suddenly and as you're making your way into this outcropped area, you're not quite there. You see, you hear, the footsteps and bounding And then after a moment, it gets louder and louder, and suddenly Flyr and Yyrin, you hear it. This one sounds familiar to the Yeti, but this one sounds a lot bigger and more ferocious. And as you are just about to enter this outcrop, you see the rest of you see and you hear like pounding footsteps running, and then suddenly there's nothing, and some shadow overtakes your field of vision, and landing right in front of you is what looks like another Yeti, but this one stands another full 4 feet taller. So this one's about 8, 9, 10. About this one stands about 12 feet tall. It's got a very long face, and the fur is long, and some parts of it's matted. You can see there's arrows sticking out of the armor and the chest, where the other ones have goat horn, ram horns that come up the back. This one has horns that comes out the head, curls back the sides, and it is large and muscular and looks very dangerous and strong. It lets out a large bellowing roar, and you see some of the other Yetis give out a scream, and you see them scamper away. So it's just you and this giant, extra large Yeti that's now in the outcropping area between you and the continuation of the path.
So he's ahead in front of Dean and Ophelia.
Yeah.
From where I'm at, could I tell right off the back if he is just going to charge at us, or
Roll an
is
insight.
he just threatening?
I'd like to slowly, take one step forward to him and say, "Oh, Lias, hello there.
Dean!
We mean you no harm." And I'm still have both my arms way up in the air, and I'm gonna do kind of a half bow towards him.
Okay. Roll an animal handling. As you do this, Ophelia, you can tell that this Yyrin, you can't quite get a read on this monster. Ophelia, judging by its posture and how its fangs are positioned, you can tell that this one is a lot more outwardly hostile towards us than the other ones were. Where the other ones seemed a little more fearful and just trying to make sure that we weren't going to encroach on their home. This one, it looks like it's probably the alpha male and doesn't really like any outsiders at all.
Dean, it's an animal, and I don't think we're going to be able to get around it without fighting.
Hold on. Everyone just hold on a second. I'm going to do something stupid.
Remember, creatures
Can I take a step forward just to see its reaction? A very
All right.
slow step.
All right. As Dean stepped forward and bowed, it looks like it's starting to posture itself to retaliate. What are you going to do? Quickly.
To retaliate against me?
Yeah.
Off to the side, I'm gonna make another Yeti that looks different up here, away from us.
Okay.
Up on the cliffside or whatever, as far away as I can. I don't know exactly. I can't remember the range on it, but
With what? Okay, there we
I clicked on it. Apparently, I didn't. I thought I clicked on it. I mean.
All right, Amanda, what were you going to do? If you don't do it now, you're going to lose your option to do stuff.
I'm going to say that when I go to take a step forward to do something, that comes up, and then I just halt myself to see what happens.
All right.
Is he within 20
So-
feet of me?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I try and do something? Another dark hunt?
Well, I'm trying to resolve Jason's thing really quick.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So he catches the illusion out of the corner of his eye. He goes, just trying to like shout at it and like growl at it, and seeing it, it's just like another Yeti, and it's not obeying his command. And as it doesn't move, the Yeti he kind of storms away and starts climbing, like digging his fingers up the side of the wall. And as he does that, you notice that each finger that imprints the side of the wall just kind of like rattles and shakes the mountain side, like the cliff side, a little bit. And
Guys,
you
we
see
need to
snow.
run.
You see snow at the top of the cliff start to slowly slide, and it sounds like Ophelia. You can hear like distant like cracking sounds and the like ice and snow breaking.
That would be an
I think it's time to
Run!
run.
Alright, let's move it!
And I take off. Like
All right.
behind me.
Continue running.
As you start, as Yyrin takes off, everybody, you guys start taking off, running. One second. All right. As you start running, in the distance, you hear a as you look behind you really quick, and the Yeti brings two large fists to impact the Yeti that Flyr had made, and it just flies through it, and there's a loud like almost thunder crash into the side of the mountain, and you see rock just go flying off the side, rock and snow, and then there's like a loud like shake as like the mountainside starts to shake. You hear a and you look behind, and as you're running now, your intuition's kicked in just at a good time, because behind you start to see snow just slowly little bits at first, then like almost like a river, it just starts to flow down the side of the mountain. So I need everybody to make an athletics check. You're gonna you see Valanthe just run off the side and turn into a bird and just start flying down the side of the mountain.
Oh, holy shit, not a 10.
I took advantage on it, by the way. figured.
What kind of drugs is Hanthor on?
I know, right? Shit!
Wait, did
No,
nobody know
he's-
that I
Share.
have a
He's a dwarf.
to athletics?
He's a
So
dwarf in the mountains. He's in his natural habitat.
As you're running,
Fucking steroid.
a big like wave of snow comes up, and it engulfs Hanthor for but just a second. And all of a sudden, you see him, his little dwarf form, just pop up out of the snow, and he just continues to like ride the avalanche down the side of the mountain.
I am using my shield as a sled.
Yeah, you can see him like on his shield, just woo, beard just behind him, just like flapping in the wind as he's just like riding, navigating, swerving between trees as the avalanche continues to just grow in intensity. Ophelia and Dean, you're able to like keep ahead of the pack. You're jumping over rocks, just kind of weaving them back and forth. Leica and Flyr, you're pulling behind. Yyrin, you are running. A bunch of snow impacts your backside, and you stumble and you stagger for a moment, and you're hit by another wave of snow. You are Yyrin, you are like swallowed by the snow. You go under for a moment, and you stick your head up. You are essentially like almost lost, like in a river, like a flash flowing river, but you're in snow. You're able to keep your head up, but you're not able to like free yourself to continue going. And so
Is there
how it goes,
any like branch?
1 second, I'm still describing. So as the scene sits, Hanthor's sliding down the mountainside on the snow in his shield. Valanthe is flying about, dodging most of it. Flyr and Leica are, Ophelia and Dean are running ahead of the pack, just jumping over logs and boulders and stuff like that. Flyr and Leica are right behind, and then there's you. Flyr and Leica are just at the cusp of being swallowed by the snow. Sorry, continue, Amanda.
In my dazed perception, is there any like higher rocks or any branches that I could grab onto to pull myself out?
All right, make a perception check with disadvantage.
Could I grab onto her and pull her up?
I'd say you're just a little too far ahead of her.
Okay. Really quickly, if I cast Fly at a higher level, since I can cast on multiple things, do I have to use those right away? Or could I do something really, like, could I fly over to her and touch her?
Sorry,
you
that
already
was
cast
a disadvantage.
Yeah, you rolled advantage there. You could cast Fly, and you could probably try and get her. To cast Fly on her, I'd say you'd have to. It'd be difficult with like the motion of running.
No, I'm asking if I could cast Fly, like, because casting at higher level, you can cast it on multiple people.
Make a quick charisma check. Just make a quick charisma check. Okay. As you're running, Flyr, I will say you can do it. You manage to you summon forth a great burst of energy from yourself, and you're able to cast Fly on multiple people if you want to.
Okay, then I'll do it at 5th, and cast it on Leica and Yyrin.
Okay. So Yyrin has the ability to fly. She is still caught in the avalanche. She will need to get pulled out. Like, just like... Yyrin, you can make a strength check to try and get out.
I'll fly over and aid, and at least try to aid.
Alright. Flyr's trying to aid you. That would you normally have disadvantage, so it's just a straight check, straight strength check for Amanda. Alright. Amanda, you're able to you're able to pull yourself out as it's going. Flyr tries to pull on you a little bit. Well, your two combine, you manage to fly off and just kind of get above the avalanche. Some rocks are still falling. Both of you make acrobatics checks to just kind of dodge and weave out of the rocks and snow that's just kind of being fired up into the air. Meanwhile,
I'm just gonna fly up. Like, as soon as I get her out, I'm flying up.
Yeah, that's great. Just to still get up, you're still going to have to dodge stuff that's getting flown up.
Hey, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. You don't have to get all mad.
I'm not. Sorry. As this is going on, Dean and Ophelia, you're running down. Give me another athletics check.
Revenge of the Tens.
Wow, you are consistent as hell tonight, Isaac. Alright, so as this state of it goes, Hanthor is still safely flying down. Flyr, you took 3 points of bludgeoning damage, just like a hard icy rock that impacted your side as you're flying up above like the crest of the avalanche. You are now clear of like the danger of the avalanche zone, but you just took the 3 points of bludgeoning damage while doing so. Yyrin and Leica, you managed to make your way up as well into the safe zone. That Yyrin and Leica are able to do that. I don't know if I said them.
Yeah.
Okay. So Hanthor safely going down. So now Dean and Ophelia. Ophelia, you're running and you see Dean stumble and fall into the snow, and it quickly engulfs him as you're running.
When he
Would I
stumbles
be
and
able
falls,
to try and grab him?
Yeah, I'd say you're at the way that's gone. You can try and pull him out. Kind of do a drive-by like Mushu did and pull him out of the snow.
Exactly. What should I roll for that?
God, I don't even...
Athletics. athletics.
Yeah, that might be athletics. I would say it's athletics.
Roll me just a really quick perception. Just super quick. Okay. So you're not quite sure where he is under there, so you slide around and you like just stick your hand in the snow and just start like sliding along. Your momentum is steadily slowing as you grab him, but you feel a grip on something that feels alive. You give it a good strength check and you pull Dean's head up above. You two are more or less stopped almost. Pulling Dean out has pretty much slowed your momentum, Hanthor, but Dean is above and you're above the snow and you're both working to get going again. Ophelia, you look like you're going to say something.
Is snow considered water?
No.
We've had this conversation before.
I do not
won't allow
recall.
it.
I tried
Can
that in the past.
Can Micah ram the two of them to give them a good push down again?
I mean, you can certainly try.
Like she just tries to push Dean forward and Hanthor forward so the shield catches momentum
All right, so
again and goes down.
Go ahead and roll a strength check. So Dean and Hanthor, Dean's up above the snow. Hanthor is on the who's she trying to ram because they're two separate entities.
More Dean, because if she can push Dean forward, he can push into Hanthor and it kind of goes down like a domino.
All right, roll a quick strength check. All right, you Leica comes down with not quite a lot of force. She manages to like slam into Dean, and Dean, you taken a little off guard, and you start getting you stumble, and then you start running down the hill. Hanthor, you just kind of dig your hands with the momentum from your 30 athletics. You start kind of going again. You two are off down the hill, but Leica down at this angle, as Leica came down to give them a push, she's back in the danger zone. That 10 slowed her down enough that she is now engulfed by the avalanche. Ophelia, what were you going to say? Your hand was raised.
How much weight can my broom handle?
I don't have the DMG.
I'm gonna pull out my broom and hop on it.
After we load PHEs,
I think you can easily handle like you and Dean.
Dean's probably the heaviest of the group as well, right?
It can carry up to 400 pounds. Its flying speed becomes 30 feet if carrying over 200.
Well, there you go.
Okay, but you said Dean is above now and Leica went under?
Yeah.
I want to fly over and try and pull Leica up and out of it.
All right, roll a
Can
quick
she
perception.
like fight her way?
Really quick. Really quick. With your passive perception, feel you're able to kind of see where Leica's trying to stumble out and claw her way to the surface. Whoever has the highest strength score, make the strength.
Because
Just a
if
check.
I see her, I can make her.
Strength or athletics. So whoever got the better one.
I have a +6 in athletics for her and a +4 in
Wait,
strength.
that's not right.
No, it's not.
The athletics rolled correctly.
All right. So you're able to pull Leica up out of the snow, and Leica flies off into the air, also kind of doing running like Santa's reindeer into the sky.
And then I'd like to go and try and pick up Dean onto the broom.
Okay. You kind of fly down, zoom back by Dean. Dean, as you're running, you see Ophelia just kind of pull up beside you and shout to, "Get on!"
I'll quickly try and jump on the back of the room.
Alright, I need a dexterity check from Ophelia and an athletics check from Dean.
Oh, it's kind of a 10.
Okay. Ophelia, you see Dean tries to like essentially jump on, and he actually ends up missing, and it hits the back of your room, and you fly a little bit, but you manage to get it back under control. You guys can try this once more before the avalanche starts to overtake you.
Yep.
All right, dexterity and athletics one more time. All right, use Dean. Dean, you go to grab onto the broom, and at doing so, you can't quite get a good grip on it. And Ophelia tries to correct herself, but this is really her first time using the broom, and the handle digs into the snow, and it goes flying face over. You look down as you see a large wave just wash over them. They're locked into it.
Oh, fuck! We gotta save him. I'm going to try to
1 second.
rush over.
Alright, Ophelia and Dean, you each take 35 points of bludgeoning damage as the avalanche just starts to crush you and just suffocate you beneath its weight.
Can I use, mold earth to keep it away from my face?
No. Alright, the Flyers, you're up, you kind of see them, Flyr, Yyrin, and Valanthe. You see them just get swallowed essentially by the snow. Hanthor, you're now skating down ahead of the massive avalanche. As you're going, you're nearing the bottom at a very quick speed. You're far in front of the party at this point now, Hanthor. And as you continue, the avalanche seems less and less powerful as you go. You're effectively out of the danger zone, or just about out of the danger zone by now.
Okay, can I have Leica enlarge? So she's twice her size.
Sure.
Is how close to Ophelia is she?
Wait, what?
How close is Ophelia to me?
To you? When you guys were in there, you guys were pretty close, within a couple of feet. When you're under there, you aren't quite sure, as you're literally surrounded by snow. You are holding your breath because there's no air where you're buried alive.
Just swim for the surface.
I'm considering just waiting it out.
Well, if we can grab them and just pull them up, and keep hold of them.
All right. At this point, you notice that the avalanche is pretty much settled. Hanthor, you've skated down. You've actually reached the side of the mountain a lot faster than your walking trip would have been. The people who are flying up above, you see that the avalanche has itself settled. And it's more or less stopped.
Okay. Leica and I are zooming
I will
down
start
and
searching
starting to
for
search
the.
them.
Yeah, I'm doing that too.
Okay, so you guys are gonna start searching. Roll a really quick perception check. What's up, Ophelia?
I would like to wiggle enough that there's enough space that I can spit and find what direction the spit falls in and go in the opposite direction to try and get out.
Okay.
Gravity.
All right, you spit, and you're get a whiff, and you see which direction the spit falls, and you start digging up. Roll me an athletics check. You can cast spells, Dean. It will just kind of use up a bunch of your air.
I'm just gonna start heating up, hang on, I need to check what it is. I'm gonna start warming 1 cubic foot of snow at a time.
Okay. So Flyr is essentially going over the snow with a hairdryer. As you
Do I make
go,
it
as
out?
you're going up, Ophelia, you reach up and you hit something hard. You grab it. It's long and it's essentially a stick. You realize that this is your broom as you're crawling your way up, but you're not quite at the surface yet.
Can I see her hand?
No, she's not above the surface yet. All right. I'm going to say at this point the minute mark has passed, so that's one off the notch. I believe you can hold your breath for what equal to 1 minute, equal to your Constitution modifier. So
Okay, I'm
Dean
gonna
has
do another
5 minutes.
perception check.
Ophelia,
Oh,
I
I
think
got
has
like
2.
5 minutes. I'm
3.
fucking good.
Yeah, Ophelia has 3. All right. Yyrin, you're not able to really see anything. Flyr, roll a perception check with advantage.
I'm gonna be casting guidance on myself as I'm still trying to dig my way out.
I could just roll 20.
What,
20 total.
Dane? I don't know if you know this
My,
either, but your camera's not on you. It's up
Yeah,
at
I
an
know.
angle. Okay.
My aura of light is still on. Can they see me like glowing underneath the snow? It's got a 10-foot bright radius and a 20-foot dim radius.
Yeah, you haven't
Snow's
really.
very good at blocking light.
It is. Also, you haven't really been like rolling your athletics check to be breaking out, so you've just kind of been wiggling up a little bit. At this point, Flyr, you notice Laika's over, like kind of like scratching at some spot, and she's starting to kind of like dig into it. Snow's kind of like peter away. You come over and you start melting, and you see what looks like an object under the snow. You see like a long like broom handle. With the combined heating and the digging of Laika, you reach through and you Ophelia, you feel like a hand grasp yours, and you pull up Ophelia, and air fills your lungs, and you've pulled Ophelia out.
Okay, now we need to find Dean. Quickly.
Okay.
Right.
I
Micah.
want to have Nori go sniffing around for Dean.
All right, go ahead. Roll a perception check with a plus. Let's say +2 for right now.
I'm just gonna use the weasel stats out of the book,
If it's,
which is a
if it's
+3.
better to do that. Oh, then do that.
And he'll have advantage because he's a weasel.
Okay.
Hey, I'll be right back. That's my perception. I'm just gonna search and melt and whatnot.
Okay. All right. All right. Nori's not quite. able to look around, you see. At this point, Hanthor has joined you in looking for Dean. Dean, Ophelia, and Flyr also. You notice a slight glimmer from underneath the snow. Excuse me, of like light. That's weird because it's like radiating in a certain area, and you think that that might be Dean. As you go over, you pull snow aside, and you're able to find Dean at this point and pull him out to the surface of the snow. All right.
I'm gonna collapse on the ground afterwards.
Yeah. Valanthe is going to come by. Is going to land on the ground. Does anybody need some healing?
I really don't like the snow.
I don't blame you.
It's coarse and it's cold and it gets everywhere.
Is everybody okay? Other than being frozen half to death?
Did I do all the damage that you healed with the snow?
So after my hit dice and the damage, I healed for... like 4 hit points. So I still have like a 4 damage
All right.
differential.
All right. Valanthe is going to come up and place her hand on your shoulder, and you're going to heal 6 hit points.
I'm back.
Oh wait, it's supposed to be a level 2. 12 hit
Let's
points.
try the
not
left
12.
there.
Okay.
I'll pick you up anytime.
Thank you, Valanthe. It's very kind of you.
And she's just going to kind of look around.
Is Hanthor at the bottom?
Hanthor has kind of ran his dwarf ass back up to you guys. I mean, he slid down really far, but he's pretty good at navigating this kind of terrain, and so he made it up to you guys pretty quickly to help in the search. At this point, you guys are almost at the bottom of the mountain face. Many trees are like bent over or broken, but there is you're pretty much at the base of the forest.
We should keep moving, just in case.
Well, at least we made it over. Yay!
Yeah, we don't want those beasts coming back.
Alright, so we're going to just take a really quick 5-minute break, go potty and all that, be right back.
Alright, I'll be back.
It's rather warm here.
I'm just a big weenie.
Alright, are we all back?
I am not.
I am as
Isaac,
here
Chris,
as
you
I'm
here?
going to
Never
be.
left.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Isaac?
Always the last one to the party.
Alright. Sorry about that. So, You reach no time at all, really reaching the bottom of the mountain from the where you were on the side of the hill. Takes maybe 10 minutes. You're all pretty tired from the running and the just trying to outrun the avalanche. As you set into the forest. Judging by where the smoke is and Yyrin's ability to just kind of discern where north is and keep tracking on forward, you guys stalk through the forest. And as you continue, probably for a good 2 to 3 hours, as the sun starts to get visibly darker as this begins to set. The sky gets visibly darker as the sun begins to set. And as you do, you can you hear the sounds of like nightlife animals starting to come up and like the daytime animals starting to go to sleep. So it's starting to become night. Do you guys want to try and press on? It's probably a good few hours before you make it. It'll be pretty late by the time you make it into the city. Or do you want to try and make up a camp? It's probably about 4 in the afternoon.
Do you guys think we can push through and just take it easy once we get into the city?
I think we should camp. That way we have time getting to the city in the morning to be able to do things.
I also think camping's a good idea.
I mean, have any of us been here before?
Not a once.
Not
Not
since I
this
was
far
very
north.
little.
We don't
So,
want those Yetis randomly attacking us.
well, and
I'm
we
not sure
don't
if it's a great idea that we stay here.
we don't know what to expect once we get into the city, though. We don't know if we'll be able to find a place to hunker down, or
Do you remember much of this place, Paul? Kind of glance at her.
Hardly anything. Last time I was here, I was probably 1 or 2, so not at all.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm all up for setting camp if everyone else is. I mean, I'm kind of winded from running.
Why don't we travel for another like hour or so, try and find a good place to set up for the night, like under a tree or someplace that will give us some good cover, and just rest for the night.
Sounds good.
So, sounds like a plan.
I'm gonna venture forth and find us a spot.
All right. You find a spot. It's not too terribly hard. You guys set up camp and rest for the night. Night goes on. Not much really happens. What's up?
While we're kind of just resting and whatnot, I was wondering if I could kind of search through the plethora of information that Archimedes gave us to discern any kind of history about what kind of place the city is.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a history with advantage.
Oh, I already have it set up.
Okay.
That's terrible. The passive for that is 20.
No. Honestly, I don't really have anything planned to happen, so I was just going to skip over it, Hanthor. Um, so with your elf history, you determined that just thinking about it, drawing on your expansive memory of it, the high elves, they dabble mostly in arcane arts. Some dabble in whatchamacallit, uh, the divine arts, but not much. Um, Mostly arcane, but there's also many more like outriders, those who ride great beasts, namely elk and bear, and they hunt, and they're like great warriors. um, it's They wear a lot of fur. They have like a large respect for like the animals and nature itself. It's a weird mishmash of like nature, of like the tundra nature and um, arcane magic. It's not quite Ize's arcane magic dependence, but they respect it and they use it a lot. Did anybody want to do any sort of role playing over the course of the night? If so, do so now. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of roll into the morning.
I'm actually going to approach Ophelia sometime during the night. Sit down next to her. Is she reading at this time with the book?
Are you?
I would say yes.
So I'm just gonna sit down and
Before you start, really quick before you start, as you're reading your book, Ophelia, you get that chapter.
Awesome.
Alright, sorry, continue.
so do we even have any inkling of knowledge of what we're up against? I kind of look at the book.
As far as this portal and the potential Child of Calamity goes,
More or less.
there's not really much information that I have found in here on that. Most of the knowledge I've been gathering of what we need to do has been based on them closing elemental portals. So, not even the demonic portals that we're up against. Really, I believe Dean had done some sort of scrying, and he would be more knowledgeable on what awaits us.
Yeah. I get the feeling you're right. I'm going to kind of briefly glance over what she's reading. Just kind of try to skim through it.
The page is blank.
Are you sure you're okay?
I may have found the ritual that they're trying to use to open these portals, though. If they're trying to use the same one that they did for the elemental ones. Some of the ingredients here, it does appear to be things that they've been gathering.
You're talking about sacrifices and
Yes.
these chosen 3.
There are actually fairly specific. Namely, I think that the Children of Calamity are probably using this cult that they've created just to gather enough people to use as ingredients in this ritual.
Wait, you're saying that this ritual is on that large of a scale for that many people?
200 adult males, 150 females, 250 children. To be specific.
That's what he was after.
Along with the blood of an elf. Which may be Vix.
Lloyd said that he had been collecting children for a while. That Oakhaven wasn't his first target. Now I understand why.
That's 600 people as a sacrifice.
That seems nearly impossible. I can't even begin to fathom how they can pull this off, but... Even if we know how to fight this, are you sure you're able to handle it? Are you sure you can face whatever we have to face?
I've been trained to handle things in this realm of possibilities. I've been trained to be ready and open and willing for whatever the gods should thrust upon me. If this is the path that they want me to walk, then I will gladly walk it, and I will accept whatever fate comes from it.
I'm gonna give her a hug.
I am not going to react, but I will hug back.
Yeah, she gives you a hug back. You guys have a nice moment.
Before I let go, that's all fine. But you also need to not do anything stupid. You do have people that care. I'm just gonna let her go.
If it takes my life in order to accomplish this task that we have set out to accomplish, then so be it. I'm at peace with that.
Well, it's not gonna come to that. We started this as a group. We'll finish it as a group.
Well, if it does, I left my temple in a better state than it was before me, and I have started on safeguards for everybody in our mansion. If that is the legacy that I leave behind, if that is what I leave behind, then it will have been worth it.
I'm just gonna bite my tongue a little bit. You should sleep. Once we get to the town, I'm sure we can pour over that book again, so
Oh,
should rest while you can.
should probably talk with everybody about this in the morning anyway, before we head out. Just so that everybody knows, and nobody who shouldn't be listening hears.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan. I'm gonna hesitate before eventually standing up. And then I'm gonna spend the rest of the night just kind of pondering stuff.
Cool.
I am meditating opposite to Valanthe, so one of us is awake at all times.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Alright, anything else anybody else wants to do?
Not until morning.
Alright. So in that case, morning's gonna roll around. Ophelia, do the thing you wish.
So after everybody's woken up, I'm gonna just try and gather everybody's attention. I think I found the ritual that the Children of Calamity are trying to use in order to open the demonic portals. It has a specific list of ingredients and what has to be done in order for it to be completed.
Oh. This sounds interesting.
Specifically, the ingredients are the blood of an elf, the bone of a saint, desecrated, the heart of a fairy, the horn of a unicorn, the simultaneous deaths of 200 adult males, races not important, 150 females, race not important, 250 children, race and gender not important, but they have to be under 10 winters of age. And it has to be used at the equinox in order to build the bridges between the planes.
That's a cheery spell, or ritual.
With it, it forms a beacon to where they can bring bigger creatures into our world. Or if they so choose, they can call for specific entities by name and bring them forth.
In other words, Be'lakor.
And whatever generals he may have had.
Oh, good. At least it sounds nice and easy to stop.
Ophelia, I assume this is from the book?
Yes. Archimedes included it as a warning so that hopefully we would be able to recognize it and stop it from being used once more.
Well, hopefully we can stop it.
Well, we do know at least where they would attempt to use it. Courtesy of your brother. I kind of glance over at Dean a little bit. Do you think he would lie about that? Just to get us riled up?
Absolutely, but there's no reason that you wouldn't be telling the truth.
He told us specifically Azerheim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Azerheim would be the best place to go if they wanted to make sure people like Dean and I didn't interfere.
What is Azerheim?
It's a filthy place. One that I wish to never step foot in.
Do you
That's
guys
where your
remember
path would lead.
Just really quick side, do you guys remember the Azerheim notes I gave you a while back?
Anti-religion. Kill clerics and paladins on sight.
Yeah, they hate the gods and holy users and all that.
Grr. It's where Assassin was from.
It's generally a lot of very angry people. Okay. Sorry, continue. Do you
Oh,
go ahead?
I was just gonna say we need to move on.
Alright, do you guys have anything else to add? Otherwise, we're just going to continue onward.
Onward to glory.
Alright, so we're going to, so you guys, you continue onward for a little bit. You walk for approximately another hour. After a little bit, you hear, like what sounds like footprints and like some sort of animal like roaming through the woods. Ophelia and Valanthe hear it first, followed very closely by Yyrin and Flyr. As they get closer, you hear like twigs snapping, like something shuffling through the snow at a pretty moderately fast pace.
Can I do a perception?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. They seem to be kind of circling you. They sound like three large hulking animals, and two you can barely hear it, but like a faint, like almost galloping kind of animal.
You said they sound like they're circling us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop. Hold up a sec, guys. I think we're being surrounded.
Surrounded? What do you mean? By what?
From what I can tell, three animals. Two are very hard to hear. That sounds like galloping almost. I'm going to just take a step forward to the side and kind of really concentrate on whether or not I can pinpoint if they're coming closer, if they're just at a distance, what's going on.
All right, Dean, you just barely hear it. Like big, like sound.
Would Leica be able to sniff out what it is if it's another animal?
Possibly do a perception with advantage because it's all smell.
Are you sure that's not just snow falling in the distance?
Something's out there, I know.
All right, Leica. She starts growling. There's definitely an animal. I mean, she starts growling. She kind of gets a little defensive. Ophelia, you see what appears to be a large, like white, like fur-ridden animal on all fours, just kind of tromping through the forest. It appears to be something on top of it.
I'm going to take out an arrow and ready my bow when I hear her growl, kind of glaring a little bit. Whatever it is, definitely hostile.
It'd be helpful to speak wolf, wouldn't it?
Can I slink into or try to find a shadowy, or try to be hidden in some way to kind of...
Roll stealth.
So I want to try and stealth my way to the sand a little bit.
All right, so you stealth away. Whether or not they see you, you don't know. All right, Dean. You see Dean draw his spear. At this point, the sounds are getting closer.
Hello, is anybody there?
Can I see who it is?
At the sound, as Flyr calls, you hear a "yeah," and then you hear a and into the view, coming out like 3 points in front of the group. Three larger than average bears just burst into the view and come skidding to a halt right in front of the party. They have what appears to be like a mask over their face with like almost goggles over their eyes, and then there's a large like brown leather riding harness on there, and perched on top of them are these like slender humanoids. They've got fur covering over their bodies and like hard, like thick, like oaken, essentially breastplates on their chests. They have like a odd face mask, with just eye holes, and it's just blank, and then horn like antlers coming up out of the mask, and it comes back on a cloth over their sides. The fur is a mixed mash of white and brown, almost looks like bear pelt, but not quite. They have this long spear, like very thick, almost a javelin type thing, with runes etched all into it. And yeah, and there's a rider on each of these. Ophelia and Valanthe, you notice from behind you two large elks just kind of stride into view very silently, very silently. On top of them is a slender female-looking humanoid, still furs and whatnot, but instead of a mask, they're obviously elves, and on top of their heads are perched like a crown with like antlers and like animals like face like heads like fixated into the crown. One of the males speaks as the spears are pointed down at you. Who goes there?
We
Is
do.
this common?
Yeah, it's in common.
Clearly, we do.
What brings you into the lands of Thelmas?
Demons, mostly. Children of calamity, sacrifices. We're trying to prevent all of these things from happening.
Excuse my friend here. We are the Order of the New Dawn. We seek the temple to the north, and we mean you no harm.
He's gonna like bring his spear back around. Do you travel with these black-clad warriors? What are you doing out here?
What black-clad
We see-
warriors?
He goes to speak, and he just kind of like words lose him as he's trying to describe it. From behind the group, everybody else are a little startled by this as you didn't notice the elks, but a male voice speaks. Several days ago, an army of, I pain to call them men, they're more like beasts. They came from the south. They've been relentlessly attacking the city of Thelmas. Mainly they've been clashing against our forces and our defenses, and while it's proved futile, they haven't made into the city since their initial attack. They do seem to keep coming from the east. And we've been scouting, looking for advance parties, those trying to get around our defenses. So you must excuse the brashness of Otoluk over there. He's lost much.
Understandable. We are, this is unfortunate. We're very sorry to hear about this. Our business is of a urgent nature. We are not with them.
Very well. What brings you to Thelmas?
This might not be the best place to talk about our business. But have you heard of what is going on in other lands? Specifically, Oakhaven.
Not very much. We are very isolated up here. We tend to not really worry about the lives of the non-elven folk.
Do you know of the demon portals?
Well, yes, everybody knows of the demon portals.
We are trying to prevent them being opened.
I didn't know. I wasn't aware somebody there on the verge of being opened.
One is open. We have narrowly avoided another being opened.
She's gonna like. She's going to draw silent for a moment. And the outrider whose spear is still at the ready, but it's no longer pointed down at Eugene. It's kind of up. Do you think these black-clad warriors could be linked to that?
It is very possible, if not likely.
Please note that if we do come across them, we will do our best to strike them down for what they have done.
This could have more in common than I initially thought. Come with us. You must speak with some of our leaders. Come. He's going to kind of motion at you, and he's going to, the initial one, Ultaluk, he's going to turn and start riding off, supposedly towards the city.
Well, that gets us where we need to be.
Try and follow closely behind the leader.
You walk. It takes a few hours. Not really. About an hour and a half, really. They take you through like an elven passageway. And you come out into a large city, glacial and almost, as the sun glistens over the seemingly crystal and ice-like spires. It appears vast. There's a lower section. This area right here, where the line is on the map. From that point down, it's all submerged under ice. So, like, at the base of it, there's a large pool of ice. And there's just, like, woods just all around it, not necessarily so close to the mountains like in this picture. But there's just forest surrounding it. Off to the east side, you can hear, as you draw closer, you can hear clamoring of like swords and shields, just, fighting, people warring. There's smoke, and you can smell fire near the entrance of it. As you draw near, you can see glimpses of similar familiar black armor that you have faced before the Kingdom of the Setting Sun and the invaders of the Valanthe Enclave.
We have seen these black warriors before. Black fighters, is what I meant to say.
Yeah. You're just going to hear a as as you are led. One of the females raced ahead to collect the ambassador to the human land. After a few minutes, a large, slender elf wearing a long white robe with like purple like insignia and just adornments over it approached. He's got an angular, weathered face, kind of older, for an elf, but he still looks relatively young. He's got a long beard that comes to about mid-chest. His hair is slicked back and tied in a ponytail. His eyes are blue. Hello. Greetings, all. He's speaking in common.
Hello. Bow slightly.
He's going to bow. My name is Cronin Kiru. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure.
Likewise.
I'm Hanthor Ironstar.
Greetings, Sir Ironstar. Are you, by chance, related to the throne in Khazar-Mar?
Aye. I'm next to sit upon it.
Oh. He gives an even more, like, deeper, like, almost exaggerated bow. It is a pleasure.
You don't need to treat me with anything special.
I apologize. It's not often we have foreign dignitaries in our lands. He's gonna like look around the amongst the group. He's going to pause slightly. Ophelia, you notice him stare at you for a moment and tilt his head. Anyway, I was told that you come with news about our recent predicament and the attack.
Yes. This is most likely related to the demon portals.
The demon kind of pause for a moment. You don't. That that would make sense. These dark-clad warriors are their forces just keep stretching off towards the east, or they're how to put this? They're seem to be based in the east in the mountains, off near where the portal in our lands lie.
We have fought people dressed in this way before.
Would they happen to be led by a woman? Red hair, flame.
Walk with me. He's going to turn, kind of twirl his, spin his robe a little bit as he continues to walk, seemingly towards the heart of the city.
I'm gonna follow.
Same.
All right, as he's walking down the street, followed by the rest of you. In the last week, we came under attack from these dark-clad warriors, let's call them. The attack came from out of nowhere, so to speak. One day we're just doing our business, and suddenly there's a sudden series of explosions at our teleportation chambers. then the entire chambers and set and rooms were completely destroyed. From there, dark-clad warriors just spewed out and started attacking our people, men, women, children. It didn't matter. We managed to drive them out, slaying most of them. But then from the hills to the southeast, near the demon portal that most of us have forgotten about, as it has been locked away, they've been relentlessly clashing against our defenses every day, constantly. We thought it was just some sort of southerner attempt to take our treasures in our city.
This sounds familiar. The teleportation rooms in Koros were attacked not long ago.
And Isis chimes in Valanthe.
Yes,
It seems like they're trying to cut off means of travel between realms.
Yes, this effectively cuts us off from the rest of the world. Otherwise, it takes us weeks to, just travel to Oakhaven. And up until now, up until you showed up, we had no indication as to what they wanted. For really, it seemed random.
this is troubling news.
You've made your way, at this point. You've walked through the city. There's people just kind of, living their lives, buying stuff. But the people seem shaken and scared as war is literally on their doorsteps. There's not many people in the streets. Like, they're doing their, living their lives, doing their things, but if they can kind of stay indoors, they will. As he's been walking, you've been led towards this town, and seemingly are being led towards the spot, like a large spire in the center. It's not like really grand like the one in Koros or Mage Tower in Isis, but it's a big, almost like chapel area. Those of us here in Thelmas and in the Thalic lands, we know of the temple of the portal. And we know that the portal sits secured in the Monastery of Silence. But the direct route to that has been kept from us. So to keep people from wandering, keeping young elves who are and outriders who think they are stronger than they are from getting into trouble. We will let us talk to the Council of Three and our leaders here in Thelmas and see if they will shed some light.
As we're going through the city and he's talking, could I roll insight on him just to kind of feel him out to see if he's alluding to something else or if he's withholding anything?
Go ahead. He seems honest. He just seems distracted by something.
But I can't tell or get a hint as to what.
All right. Anybody have anything else?
No.
Okay. Cronin leads you up through the streets into the citadel, into the spire. There is in like a large meeting house. There's chairs and tables aside, and there's people like doing work and talking and like eating amongst themselves. Up at the top, three, there's like a large chair in the center, and then two equally large chairs off each side. There sits two females and one male elf. The male elf has like a sapphire circlet across his brow and wears a long robe, similar to Cronin's, but instead of white with purple, it is black with light like sky blues inlaid throughout it. And but also on top of it, he has like a fur mantle. The female elf off to his left has a plate helm sitting off to the side on a table, and she's wearing what looks like almost like a crystal-like armor, kind of like a what? What? Can you hear me now?
Did
Hello?
Corey cut out for anyone else?
Hello?
Yeah, you cut out for me.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
no,
I can.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, that was really weird. My computer's being weird. What was the last thing you heard?
You just started describing the dude.
Great. All right, so the dude, he's wearing robes similar to Cronin, except instead of white and purple, he's wearing like a black and like a sky blue intertwined together. And on his shoulders, he has like a fur mantle. He has like a sapphire blue circlet on his head. Next to him, onto his left, can you still hear me?
Yes.
All right. Just making sure. Onto his left is a woman, a female elf, wearing with like a helm off to her left. It looks to be like if it would be plate, but instead of metal, it's made out of what appears to be like a blue crystal armor. So I think like full plate, but like crystal instead of metal. And she's got a sword, like a two-handed greatsword, like leaning against the back of her chair, with like a golden handle just sticking outside the scabbard. And she's kind of laying back, kind of like lounging almost. The guy in the center's got his legs crossed. And off to the right is the other female. She's wearing a long robe, just bright red with gold and purple down the center, and she's got like crystals embedded into like her shoulders of the robe, and she's just got like a single floating stone going around her, like just orbiting her head.
What color is the stone?
It is orange.
Ooh.
The girl and the female elf in the armor, she's got blonde hair tied back into a bun. The one on the far right, she has got black hair that just kind of cascades down her back and over the shoulders. Cronin's going to advance and like get on his knee and bow. My lords and ladies, I bring outsiders who claim to have knowledge of these attacks. He's got the man's going to speak up. Bring them forward to us. Let them speak.
I'm gonna raise an eyebrow when he says that.
Don't judge a guy by his voice.
The dark side.
Something, something, something dark side.
Forgot the
Alright.
complete one.
Hanthor will step forward. Greetings, lord and ladies. I am Hanthor Ironstar, heir to the throne of Khazor-Mar, and I am here with my party, the Order of the New Dawn. We are fighting against a dire threat to our world. The demon portals have started to open again. Their forces are fighting at your gate right now. And well, we're here to help stop them and hopefully put a stop to whatever's trying to get your portal up here.
So you think that these forces are trying to get to our portal? Is that it?
We don't think. We know this as fact.
This has been happening in other parts of the world as we speak. You're not the only realm dealing with this crisis right now.
The female elf in the armor is going to kind of lean forward, put like an elbow on each of her knees, and just kind of like really intently stare at you. Tell us, if they're after our portal, why do they keep attacking our city?
To weaken you.
I don't understand. They could have just slipped to the portal without us ever knowing. Why attack here?
Look at your
seek to
people.
consume-
They are terrified.
They seek to consume your lands and your people before they open that portal. So they can create another sort of headquarters for their means. If that portal is opened, your land will be gone. You will have nothing.
Okay, really quickly, because I can't remember. Was there anything else in the lands, or in these lands, or just the portal?
There was the portal. That was like the big thing.
Okay.
I mean, these elves have a vast wealth of like arcane artifacts and stuff like that. Like, they're a very wealthy people. But as far as like for like the demon portal bullshit, it was just the portal.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Because this is the one where it's like the city and then the temple to the north with the demon portal inside it, right?
The demon portal slash temple is to the southeast. It's literally sandwiched in between Khazar Mar and the Elfland. So it's not
okay.
far from you, but yeah, it's north from Oakhaven. That's why I kept saying it was in the north.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
But yeah, so it's
if you still have
see it on
your
the map, yeah.
map, yeah, it's the one thing that's in between the two.
yeah, and as you were looking, you saw like the stream of black and the smoke and the fire head directly like to the southeast of the city. It's almost like you can like draw a line from the city that and follow the smoke and the blackness up into the mountains to the east. It's almost like a direct line to the portal you would have assumed.
Tell me, do you have anything else here that would be of interest to people looking to open the demon portals?
At this point, the dark-haired elf is going to speak up. Well, we don't have much in regard to the portal, but we do have a vast wealth of arcane objects. And she's going to like look over at the male and the armored female. Corypheus and Sedana, if I may. Corypheus, one sec. Those are the names for the people. Corypheus and Sedanis. If I may interject, you may, we are all three long-lived people. If you remember, in the last demonic invasion. Our outriders were able to help and provide much aid and combatants against the demonic forces in the last war. What if these black-clad warriors are trying to weaken us or keep us busy? The male's going to sit up a little straighter. Galen, that is just incredibly possible. He's like gonna get all flustered up and then just kind of simmer down for a second.
Did you say that was? Did you say impossible or possible?
Possible.
Incredibly possible.
Yeah, type out that name too.
So you people, you order the Dons or Dons of the New, whatever you are.
Order of the New Dawn.
Human stuff, got it. You think these black-clad beasts, men, whatever, they're after our portal?
We know they're after your
war-
portal.
We never fought creatures like this in the last war.
Just because you have never fought them doesn't mean they don't exist.
You mentioned that you had things of power. Among your possessions here, you wouldn't happen to have the heart of a fairy or the horn of a unicorn, would you?
No, we don't carry... I mean, maybe one of our alchemists, but we don't really carry those things here. I feel wary giving the location, the exact location of the temple to outsiders, but there may be something that we can do to prove your trustworthiness. Cronin, excuse me. He's gonna kind of walk forward. Yes, my lord. He's going to look kind of glance over all of you, pausing on Ophelia for another moment, then looking up at the party. What's up?
What if we weren't just outsiders?
Oh. What do you mean?
I'm going to take a deep breath and slowly let it out and look up. I was born here. Your people are my people.
Well, there's one way to check. Cronin, draw the circle. Very well. You see Cronin start drawing a very large circle in the ground, and then place his hands and it imbues with white light. Step into the circle and repeat what you said.
And no alchemy here.
I step into the circle. I was born here.
Does she tell the truth? Cronin looks at Ophelia. Looks back. she is telling the truth.
Down somewhere. Where the fuck did I write it down?
Very well. The circle of truth does not lie. And I doubt she has glibness. Very well. We will provide information for you to make your way to the temple. But we will give no further aid.
Now, just a moment. Look, you understand that this is something that, again, threatens our entire world. You, of all people, should remember what happened, what torment the world went through the last time that the demons were here. We're trying to prevent the worst of that. And you don't want to help us as much as you can? I'm gonna roll persuasion.
Okay.
Oh damn,
No,
I
no.
got 2.
Could I, really quickly, could I say something to try to give him advantage? Basically just let him roll again.
I was gonna try
What?
and say something too.
No, Hanthor. If the elves... if the elves feel that they cannot give us help, that they're not powerful enough to aid us in our quest, who are we to try to change their minds? If they are too weak.
If, I do not want to. He's going to get cut out by the crystal armor-wearing elf. Corypheus, maybe you don't remember clearly, but surely we can grant some aid for these people who are trying to save our people. Grant them a batch of outriders or release some mounts, get them there faster and safely. Yes, I agree. Well, doesn't sound like I have much of a choice, do I? You two overruled me. He's gonna lean back. Very well. You shall have mounts. And a handful of outriders.
Your aid is truly appreciated and is very generous.
Go. We will have the preparations for you within the hour.
I'm gonna stare at the one talking and just give a very deep bow while staring at him the whole time.
Alright.
Hanthor's just gonna look him in the eyes and then turn around. Give him that dwarven death stare.
Alright. In that case, we're just going to take a really quick 5-minute potty break, and we'll be right back.
Oh, Corey, just real quick, was I able to gain anything with that 18? As far as... I was trying to see if the snotty guy that we were talking to, if he just wasn't, like, if he seemed like off, like he didn't want to help us because we were new, or he knew about what was going on.
You grant that he's not necessarily like working with something. Like you don't really think he's working with like the bad guys. You think he's just a pompous ass.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
I'm back.
Lies.
I found it, babe. I found it.
Alright, I'm back. Can you all hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Roger, roger.
Alright. Alright, as you all pile out of the meeting room, Cronin grabs your attention, Ophelia. Excuse me. Ma'am, can I have a word with you?
I'm just going to slowly nod.
Come with me, please. And he leads you off to the side. There. Hello. He's gonna look around for a moment. So, you were born here.
I was.
I thought as much. I never forget a face. And I know yours well.
You're our queen.
Tell me. Your mother. Her name was Inayara. Was it not?
Yes, it was.
You see him, after you see that, he looks over and he noticed Yyrin for a moment. And you just see him raise his hand, like a wave of arcane energy just forms itself, encompassing you, like locking you in, so you have a moment of privacy. That is the name I've not heard for some time, but one I've thought of often. And that would make you Ophelia.
Yes.
Ophelia Kiru.
I took her human's last name, Ophelia Lythe.
You see his shoulders kind of slink for a moment. I see. Well, it is a pleasure to meet you. My name is Cronin, as you know. I am your birth father.
I thought as much when you seemed familiar.
Well, this is awkward, isn't it?
I don't know if you had heard, but my mother passed away quite a long time ago.
He's gonna look down to the ground. I see. That's very sad. I'm sorry. But I'm happy to see that my daughter has at least grown into a strong and beautiful woman.
Well, at least I have the ability to appear that way.
You don't think so?
I wonder sometimes, is it really strength that I have? Or is it just that I am able to keep people at a far enough distance that that's what they see?
You're troubled. I see that now. You're strong. That is for sure. There's no doubt. I mean, you're trying to save the world. But, there's a great deal of stressors in our world. Ophelia, you do not know me. Last I saw you, you were about 5. It brings me so much joy to see that you are alive and healthy. It hurts me to see you sad and lost. Tell me, these compatriots that you work with, are they your friends? Family?
I don't know. They could be called my friends. They're certainly the closest things I have.
I see.
All the
Do
times
you feel that?
all the
Go
times
on.
that I've imagined this meeting happening, it was always so different in my mind. I thought I would stay distant and hidden and just brush you off and move along. What I remember from back then just anger and fighting and running.
Well, the anger was pain. Your mother, she fell in love with a human, and she left. And the anger and the yelling was me hurting. And I can understand how that is very... I can understand how confusing your early memories of me can be. Ophelia, I can tell that you are a woman of the light, just as I am a man of the light. And let me say that we are all mortals in the eyes of the gods. And that, as such, being mortals, we are all prone to make mistakes and do things and say things that hurt each other and those that we are closest to. But the greatest grace that we have is forgiveness. I forgave your mother for leaving me and taking you. And I hope that you can find forgiveness in your heart for me not coming to find you, for the pain that others have caused you.
When she passed, they tried to send me back here. They tried to send me back to you. And I was so afraid that I ran. And I've been running ever since. I've been alone for so long. I don't know that I have that strength to forgive all the people that I've lost at such a young age that left me alone to be able to let others in now.
I can certainly understand that. He's gonna kind of come over and like take you by the shoulder and point over through the fort wall. You see them over there. He's gonna point to Dean and Yyrin and the rest of the party and Valanthe and Hanthor who are waiting on you. Yyrin and Dean looking very concerned, looking through the force wall at you. Take care, Ophelia. Look on the worry on that little elf girl's face. She is very concerned about you. That human, he is also worried. And so are the rest.
Even if, though, I give in, even if I let them in, they'll all leave me too. If we are successful at this and we all go forward and we live our lives, I will outlive all of them. I will see them all die, and I'll be alone again. That's all I see in my past, and it's all I see in my future.
Yes, we as elves live for an extended period of time. But at the same time, it's really wonderful to live with these people and these beings for the entirety of their lives, knowing that you make such an impact on their shorter existence. And don't dwell on the missing, dwell on the good times that you had, because, you know, it's what makes you feel alive, the relationships that we form. It makes you, the only way you could feel so sad is if you felt something so good. And you're scared to lose it, I understand. But we must take the bad with the good. It's a beautiful sadness, despite how silly that sounds.
I never really thought of it before, but thinking on it now, for as long as I've been alive, I guess I haven't really lived.
Even in these dark times, Ophelia, live for you. Live to be happy. Don't get caught up on who's going to die or who's going to leave you, and enjoy who you have now. Sorry. It's /E to do the emote, right, guys?
/me, I think.
Oh, /me. Sorry. He's going to place both of his hands on your, one on each shoulder. And give him a tight squeeze. You must do what you have to now, Ophelia. Save the world. Be with your family out there. And know that I will always be here in Thelmas for you once you are finished.
I think that maybe once all of this is over, I would like to come back here.
You're always welcome. And please, bring your friends and your family.
And would it kill you to get some grandkids for me?
Good stuff.
Did you catch that, Corey?
The knock 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes, we must get going, but we should talk again.
Yes.
Before you go, though, I have something I want to give you. He's going to take a circlet that was resting in his hair. He's going to pull it off of his head, and he's going to gently place it on yours. This was a gift to me from your mother when we were first married. As a circlet with magical abilities. And this, he's going to take a necklace off his. He's got a couple of necklaces on. Takes one off with one large sapphire, and puts it around your neck. With this, you can always reach me. Should you be in danger, shatter the sapphire, and I will come to you. And I'll be there in an instant.
Thank
He
you.
pulls away and just kind of looks at you. He's going to drop the force wall, and he's going to wipe away a tear and pat you on the cheek. Go. I will meet you at the city entrance, and I'll be there with the Outriders. He's going to give you a bow and turn to the party. I'm sorry for holding her up for so long. I'll see you at the city entrance or exit, and I'll be there with the Outriders. Until then. He's going to walk.
I'm gonna take a moment to compose myself real quick before I turn around and go rejoin the group.
I'm gonna walk up to Ophelia real quick and put my hand on her back and ask her if she's okay. Are you doing okay? It looked like you started crying.
It's just been a very long time since I was here.
Did he tell you something?
Mostly just confirming things that I knew. Telling me new things. He's my father.
Oh. Well, this is surely good news, isn't it?
When I was very young, my mother and I left this place and left him.
I'm not sure I understand. Is he a bad man?
I thought so. Viewing through the eyes of a child who didn't understand the situation. But I don't think so.
Do you think he is telling the truth? In which he says that he wants to help us?
I trust him. And I think he's already helped me.
Well then, through you I shall too trust him. Come, we mustn't keep everyone waiting.
Dean, I appreciate everything that you've done for me. Being my confidant in so many things, and just showing me the way. I appreciate it.
The road goes both ways, Ophelia. You have done more for me than most people have in my entire lifetime. I can't thank you enough with just words. And I appreciate your kind words. We need you for everything that you are. Don't for a second think that you aren't useful or helpful to us in any way, because we wouldn't be here without you.
Recently, I feel like I've spent more time unconscious than being any sort of help to the group. I feel like I've just been a distraction and not really a help.
You saved me from quite a dark place. I don't know if I would still be alive if it wasn't for you.
Well, I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you.
Well, then I guess that makes us even then, doesn't it?
We shouldn't keep everyone waiting.
I'm gonna walk off towards the rest of the group.
Welcome.
Yo.
So, you all make your way back. Is there any other role playing or anything that you guys want to do in the city before we head off to our next chapter? Because we'll have left a plan next we can do in the next half hour.
I'm good with moving on.
I am done until we take a short rest somewhere out in the wilderness.
So, Chris, you're here, right?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. There's kind of a bit of an awkward silence as you all make your way towards the end of the town, end of the city. As you approach, you see Cronin. He gives you another deep bow. His eyes look kind of red and puffy. Some like streaks, some of like dried tears are down his cheeks. Welcome. I've prepared a assembly of outriders to help, and I've come up with some mounts. There you see a group of outriders, 3 bear riders, 2 elk riders. They look similar. You kind of recognize them. They look like the group that you ran into, or who led you to the city. And up there are 3 bear. There are 3 unmounted bears and 2 unmounted elks. So there are 5 mounts. I'm sorry, this is all we could scrounge to get you out on such short notice, but we have 5 total.
This is just fine.
I want to walk up to a bear and try and pet one.
All right, roll animal handling.
Oh my god.
The one you go to growls at you and you slowly back. You see one of the outriders walk up and just like bop it on the nose and goes.
I'm
So-
also going to go up to a bear.
Roll animal handling.
I see now.
There
You
was
just gotta
3 bears.
assert your dominance.
Yes, 3 bears, 2 elk.
I'll go up to a bear.
Okay, go up to a bear. Both Flyr, who would lose?
Amanda DC'd out of that real quick.
All right, both Flyr and Hanthor go up. Hanthor, it goes, and you scratch it behind the ear for a moment. He gives you a big lick across the face. Flyr takes a little moment to warm up to you, but the one that Dean got growled at, just lets you scratch its head and pet it.
I'll walk up to one
Can
of
I
the
go?
elks.
Okay, roll an animal
Can I-
handling.
Could I go up to the other bear that hasn't been
Yeah.
walked up to yet?
The elk leans.
Oh my god!
The other elk leans down and just kind of like rubs up against you, Yyrin, and it seems to have taken a shine to you. You see Dean go up and go to the untouched bear, and as he reaches out, you hear a "Rosh!" as it like bears down his teeth to try and bite him. He quickly pulls his hands away, and the bear says, "Rrr!" And the 2 outriders come up and like restrain it and just whack it on the nose.
You okay there, Dean?
Could I go up to the bear that just got riled up? Shh, it's okay. I know he seems really scary, but you'll be fine. And I gently try to pet him and calm him down.
All right. The outriders are mostly doing this, but you go up and give it a hand, and they manage to kind of restrain it and pull it back. Maybe
I'm just trying to calm it down.
maybe you try an elk, sir. One of the outriders says to you.
Dean, you should take my elk. He seems friendly.
I just wouldn't want to weight him down with all this, plate and muscle.
Oh, I assure you, sir, these elks are very strong. Are you gonna try and tame an elk?
Yeah, I'll walk up to an elk and try and pet him.
Right. Roll an animal handling. The elk really likes you. It comes up and starts like licking at your face and starts nibbling at your ear.
Aw, you made a friend.
This one actually seems to like you more than it liked Yyrin. Just a little bit more.
Hey, I think we found a winner.
I would
Right.
like to try.
So there's one more animal who's doing
this
what?
off.
There's one more elk. Are you gonna try and take it, Ophelia, or somebody's gonna ride a bear? Somebody needs to ride a.
I would like.
Right. Roll another animal handling. Ophelia, go ahead and do one for the elk, I guess. Did you guys hear me?
Guesstimate on how long it will take to get up there.
Not long, maybe an hour of riding. If you're going fast. Each of you roll an animal handling to determine if the mounts will accept you.
Is Valanthe going to shift into animal form in order to join us?
I mean, she could.
Do I have to roll another animal handling?
No, Yyrin and Ophelia. Or Valanthe. Whoever's going to try and take the last elk and the last bear needs to roll animal handling.
I'll shapeshift.
Okay.
Okay.
Shapeshift. Wow.
Would you like the bear, Ophelia?
Yeah, give me the bear. Give me the angry bear.
Ophelia goes up. He goes. "Arr, Yyrin, as you go to pet this other elk, and as you go up, you weren't quite paying attention. You accidentally jab your thumb in the eye of the beast. And it takes a moment to calm down, but I'm just going to say, for the sake of whatnot, you managed to calm the beast, and you will ride that. Very well. Now that that's all sorted out, the Outriders just kind of give you all like weird looks, especially Dean. It's okay. So the plan is, there's a large assault going on the outside of the city. We're going to break through the blockade and force our way up to the towards the monastery itself. Any questions?
No.
Very well. If I may, Coronan's gonna speak. Try and stick to your cantrip abilities. I don't know what awaits at the other end of this assault.
Oh, how bad could it be?
Last we counted, there were about 600 strong out there.
Cannon fodder.
So I have to say, we could always try and sneak our way past.
Sneaking is
It
not
would
my
take too long.
forte.
I mean, if you were to try and sneak, it would take a couple days, but we were wasting time. Mount your beasts and get ready to ride.
Alright, let's do this.
Alright, so you mount yourselves ready, you pull out your weapons or get your magicalness ready to make your attacks. Leica walks up next to you on your elk, Yyrin. And you ride up to the side. They kind of do look like the bears from Zuluman, yes.
Okay, cool.
Just white.
Well, I'm going to get my bow out and ready.
All right. As you walk up to the side, you hear a horn. As suddenly this large gate is open for you. Doors raised. A bridge is dropped down, and you hear "Hyah!" as the Outriders take off out into the snow. You guys give chase behind them, and almost immediately the familiar black-clad warriors descend upon you. It's a brutal melee. As you come up, the bears, they burst through the main of them, while the elks jump and prance and zigzag in between them, nimbly dodging and attacking. You're running at full speed. One comes up next to you, Dean. You can either he's coming up to you making a charge attack, great axe at the ready. You can make either attack or some sort of dodging ability to try and get out of the way, or if you have something else creative you want to try and do.
And
This is really fast paced.
Can I use my Shield Master trait to kind of just like quickly block it with my shield and get some kind of advantage?
Alright, so you're going to just try and block it as you drive by, is essentially?
Right. Yeah, since I'm on an elk and he's kind of drilling through all the crowd.
Alright, he's coming up. He brings his axe down, and you just hold your shield up to block it. It hits the side of your shield and just glances off. You're shaking a little bit, but you continue on. You burst through another couple of... they're thrown onto their backs, and you stick your spear down on another one as he tries to block into you, peer on through. Meanwhile, while you're doing this, Valanthe, you are zigzagging, snaking in, like in between the group, the outrunners in our group. You're coming in, you like pounce up, jump, and you just like tackle in and bite somebody's jugular off, and you continue on. You do this, you unleash a frost breath that just freezes a couple of them in place as you go up. You like brush into the side of them and like shatter one of them, and you continue on. At this point, another one has come up from the side, catches you off guard, and he goes to attack you. You can try and make an attack roll, try and dodge, or something more creative. What do you do?
I want to attack roll.
All right, just a quick bite attack, just straight attack, no advantage. All right. Given the melee and the haphazardness, this is what I consider a wild attack. You manage to bite his arm. You deflect the blow, but you don't do a lot of damage. You manage to you throw him off guard, but he's still up. He starts chasing after you, but he can't keep up with your speed. At this point, Ophelia, you see your bear is just barreling through. A large three of them come up to try and stop you. They have their axes bared, trying to stop you. Your bear rears up behind you. You hold on really tight, and it comes down, slashes down behind, just scrunches them as you continue forward. Two of them come up as you do this. Two of them try and flank you, one on the other side. Your bear brings his large paw, coming in and just bashing the other one's skulls in. The other one comes up behind, off to your right. You can try and attack, dodge. What are you gonna do? Cast a spell, something.
I would like to use the Cleric Prestidigitation to make the ground tremble.
All right, as you do. 1 second. All right, as you do, the guy, the warrior, the ground trembles and he loses his grip a little bit. All right, he goes face down with that natural one. He just slams face down into the ground as you barrel through. You bowling ball through a couple of guys. They just slide out, like fall off to the side as you burst through them. Hanthor, you're aboard your bear. You're throwing your hammer. You're hitting people in the head. Just coming back. You're like Thor on a bear. Just ting, ting. Anything that gets close just gets mauled by your bear as you're running. At this point, three guys are just jump at you in the bear, trying to slow you down. What do you do? So you're running. There's just three guys coming at you.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Thunder Wave to knock them out of the way.
Okay. You see Hanthor just clap his hands together. All right. One guy makes his save. he like sturdies himself. The other two are pushed back and get trampled by one of the nearby outrider bears. As you push forward, the bear swipes him to the side, and you continue forward. As you clear through, you chuck your hammer another time, and just catch some guy in the back as you can, and right back to your hand as you continue forward. Yyrin, on your elk, you're prancing along through the zigzagging through this. You're just leashing arrow after arrow. At this point, you've unleashed 4 arrows, so do mark that off your sheet. Each of them just like hitting their mark, just knocking these guys off their ass. Your elk just one of them tries to come up against you. The elk just bounces out of the way, and you are not like these guys can't even keep up with you. You see one of them pull out a crossbow and take aim. You see the trigger aim. What do you do? He's about to pull the trigger. What do you do?
Can I cast jump on the elk that I'm riding with the ring of jumping, or is that just me?
The ring would just be you.
Okay, and that's since I'm going to charge and jump right on top of him, try to crush him.
Okay. So, make a roll a d20 plus 7. All right. You see them come up, and it's all of a sudden you like kick into your elk, and you jump across the way, and you jump into the air, and just land on top of him. Ah! He gets squished, and you just hear like a sickening crunch behind you as you jump off again. You jump on another one, and then another one. You bounce off them, like crushing them beneath your weight as you continue onward. Meanwhile, Leica's just trudging through, going just slashing, just bulldozing her way. She's almost as big as the bear itself. One of these bears, just slashing, biting into people, tearing out flesh, trying to keep up with you. Flyr, you're coming up on a bear. You're holding onto the reins with like one hand while your hand is out in the open. And as you're going through, the bear, just anybody gets close, and you're just frost firebolting just left and right, just letting it go. You see as the fire impacts one guy, and you see he starts to run, like his underclothes have caught fire, and he is running, trying to extinguish himself, rolling in the snow. As you're running, as your bear's, there's a rock in the way, and it goes, it digs into it, and it jumps up, and as you catch some air, you're like on your downward slope. You see 3 of the dark warriors have come into bear with their crossbows, are aimed up at you. You know that the bear will probably land on one of them with your trajectory, but there's 2 other one. What are you going to do?
You know what I'm gonna do? One dart for each crossbow.
Okay. You see Flyr just kind of like with a makes like a pistol thing with this look with the motion with his finger, but he turns it sideways. And so as he's up in the air, he goes just do once each of the chest, like they fall backward. Each of them fall backwards as the bear lands on the middle one, sweeps backwards with his paw, and growls at the other one before taking off. The two that got hit, landed on, and the one to the right, they both look pretty bad. But the one on the left that just got roared at, he gets up and he tries to. You look around behind you, and you just go hit him with a frost firebolt that just hits him in the back, and he goes sliding into the sand. The rest of the Outriders are bobbing and weaving through, killing some people as they go. And you continue doing this for a good 20 minutes of riding, just slashing and killing everything along your way. Just plowing through these. The front Outriders are acting as a spearhead, and anybody in the path is just getting mauled and taken out by your superior skill. By the end of the 20 minutes, you guys arrive outside the monastery. There's a large staircase leading in, and there seems to be a mishmash of dark armored warriors and people wearing monk robes, doing battle, exchanging fists and great axes and whatnot. Up in one of the walkways, you see a sudden burst of light, like orange red fire, just spark up like a plume, and then dark clouds coalesce in the sky, and like a green lightning hits the walkway, and then a large green meteor impacts the walkway. You hear as this large green hulking figure just emerges out of the crater. It's up on the walkway up ahead. It's an easy 25 feet tall, and it's like molten. It's like hard rock with green fire just shooting out of every orifices, and it just starts just demolishing walkways and doors and just everything and people. You see like monk bodies just get thrown off the side. Ah! All the 50 feet drop to the ground. You come to a stop, and the Outriders are busy trying to keep the Dark Warriors off of you guys. They're saying, "Go ahead, we'll hold them off here." And that's where we're going to end tonight. You guys are at the base of the monastery.
Awesome.
Shit, that was a lot of talking. My throat's sore.
That was awesome.
The rest of the night will be quiet. Oh,
welcome.
the look.
Sorry I didn't let you guys do a lot there. I thought it would be fun to be cinematic.
I approve.
That was really
It was
cool.
cute.
Who knew that D&D would have cutscenes? So, our next day of D&D will probably be the 11th of April.
Sounds good.
Is that the only April date that we have as well?
Yeah. Well, no, the 25th I work. I'm open. So, we'll keep on our 2 week.
Okay.
Every.
I just know you said April was going to be tough.
I did some shift swapping.
So just on a bi-weekly schedule right now.
Yeah, it'll stay bi-weekly unless you get lucky, basically.
Oh, so you mean we get to play D&D on my birthday?
Game's canceled on your birthday.
Oh, no, I want to play.
No, that'll be fine, yeah.
Yay!
So, all right. Any questions that you need me to answer before I start divvying out XP?
I already sent you my question, and I will be right back.